They say there is always three sides to a story. Regina Daniels own side, Ned Nwoko own side, then the truth itself wey na only God na im know. My people, Ned Nwoko they don call am o, make una come hear im own side of the story. This one choke. My people, this matter e no be story again o. Make una hear.
And I really have some piece of bad news that I want to share with you. For me personally, it's bad news, and I'm very sad tonight. I'm extremely sad. My son messaged me this morning from New York, and he said to me that he heard that Regina and Ned's marriage was over, and that the brother tried to rescue Regina from the house, and thugs were asked to beat them up, and a whole lot of ruckus. And I said, where did you hear this from? KJ said he saw it on the brother's Instagram story. Now, most of you don't know Regina Daniels' brothers' names or even know them like you know Regina, okay? But we got to meet the whole family in Abuja in 2021. We made friends with everybody. We followed everybody on Instagram. I met the extended family, all Ned's wife, all the children. And like I said, we spent time with them. We're family friends. There's nothing I want to ask Ned that he won't tell me. So being a PR specialist now and retired as a journalist and pharmacist, I decided to message Ned immediately on WhatsApp. And I said, Ned, we just saw this. What's going on? Please talk to me. Ned started chatting me, and then eventually he picked up the phone and called me. I spoke to Prince Ned Nwoko for 30 minutes on the phone. And on this phone call, it kind of was like an interview. Okay, because in journalism mode, I was literally interviewing him while he was talking to me. But before I can put out any stories, at the end of our conversation, I said, Ned, I want to report everything you just told me. Some of the stuff he told me was just shocking. I've been trying to reach Regina all day. I can't reach on any of her numbers. And I can understand how she's feeling right now. But you have to hear both sides of the stories, right? But sometimes when you're investigating something, investigative journalism requires just going into the story, defending media freedom, and finding out the truth. You don't have to interview anyone at all. But this is not an interview. I'm not working here. Okay, this hurts me because this comes very close to me in very serious, many, many things. I decided to do a video and put it out so everybody can share the video and see what's going on. And let me make this clear to everybody. I have not seen Ned in almost 3 years since I left Nigeria, and he did not send me any money or pay me for anything. I simply wanted to let you know what's going on, all right? Every story has different narratives, okay? Some people see black, some people see white, some people see the gray in between. But because they're my family friends, I want to talk to Regina. What I'm about to tell you is very unfortunate. It's very sad, and it hurts me to the core. Regina, I hope you're watching my video. I want to help you. What happened? What is this thing that you're beating, Regina? That you're a domestic abuser? Ned said, first of all, I was not in the house yesterday. I traveled. And I came back to see the baby. I think it was Moon, he said, was sick with a temperature. And that the narrative they put out on all the blogs that he beat her up yesterday, that's not true. Okay. I now wanted to ask Ned, have you ever beat Regina? Okay. There's a line you draw when you're asking certain questions because that could be their private life. Regina too could have hit Ned. Ned is about my age group. Okay. I respect him very much. Prince Ned Nwoko is about 64, I believe, and I'm 61 now. Now, this is what I heard. Do you guys remember 2 years ago when I did a video about Regina vaping? A vape is something that looks like a plastic thing like this. It's like e-cigarettes. Instead of smoking cigarettes, you vape. Regina was blowing out the smoke out of the vape in the club with her friends, and she posts all those things online. I was concerned, and I spoke to the NDLEA about this because the week she was vaping, we were doing shows and stories about vaping and cigarettes. And I felt that Regina, being a very, very big influencer and figure, okay, might influence young people. Because when President Biden was about to leave, and even President Obama, that was the main topic with the Surgeon General of the United States. Vaping is harmful. You can type it in, VAPING. And then when one company brought vapes to Nigeria in different flavors, strawberry, pineapple, and all that, and they were using Big Brother Nigeria stores to promote vaping, I countered them and they stopped advertising. These things will kill you, they'll harm you. I put that video out and I was so concerned about Regina 2 years ago. 2 years later, Ned told me Regina has a huge substance abuse problem. In other words, she's been using drugs. For the past 8 months, he listed the drugs that she's getting treated for at a rehabilitation center, and that she is coming in and out of rehab. In other words, relapsing. It works this time, it doesn't work again. Some of these drugs are so powerful, they take over you. I went through this with Whitney. Everyone knows that Whitney Houston was my friend. Everyone saw what I went through with Whitney. Maybe some of you in Nigeria don't. You see all the pictures of me and Whitney. I was helping. I was trying my best with Whitney. I was the blogger for the reality show, okay, being Bobby Brown. And all I saw here is, oh my God, not Whitney again. Regina was coming in and out of rehab. She'll get treated and she'll get addicted again. Ned wrote me for a little bit on the chat and then he picked up the phone because sometimes it's too hard to type a lot. And what he told me was that she was being treated for a whole host of drugs. Okay, even though he mentioned the drugs to me, and I did ask him, can I say this on my story? He okayed it, but I don't want to say it because I'm also a pharmacist, remember? Yeah, I'm a retired pharmacist of 37 years. Confidentiality clauses, okay? Nobody needs to know what the drugs are, okay? I can tell you one starts with a C, okay? So then you can float your heads all around the C drugs. Regina smokes weed, and she takes some very hard opiates. I'm not going to mention them. The hardest opiates ever. These drugs that her husband told me she was on will ruin your life. You will be so addicted you can't get it. This is what happened to Whitney. This is what happened to Mac Miller, the rapper. I have been through this with several celebrities and public figures. This is why I went to the NDLE in February of 2022, that I want to be a volunteer and educate people in Nigeria, schools, communities, and workplaces. And this is what I did. I have been on the NDLE spaces consistently for 30 months. I only stopped 3-4 months ago, but I still came in August to do a presentation on drugs and the environment. People, this stuff is really bad. The key of what I want to tell you on this video is what Prince Ned Nwoko said to me. Regina's sister and her friends introduced her to drugs. Just like we thought Bobby Brown introduced Whitney, it was actually her own brother that introduced her. He told Oprah that after she died. Her friends, Prince Nwoko told me that Regina became super content creator and he went to the bathroom. I had no idea Regina was filming. Honestly, I thought that was AI. It was filming her. And that's why he looked like, what? You see, Regina still has that little girl, young girl in her. When you're married, you can't do those things. What made Regina film Prince Ned about to use the toilets? This is what drugs can do to you. Your thinking and mode of, realizing what's right and wrong becomes impaired. So the video is real. Now, the second thing I want to say is that Ned is blaming her friends. Ned said, oh, I felt bad for him. I was almost crying. Honestly, I was in a drugstore and a restaurant. I was in a restaurant ordering food and I went to a drugstore next door where I am and I was almost in tears. He said, I allow her to go out with her friends. They do glam night on Sundays. They go out, they party, blah, 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 glam night. And then they come out very late and I tell her the children are sleeping. Somebody came up to the house with Regina and Ned said, Regina, make sure that girl is gone in an hour or she sleeps over because everybody's already asleep. And literally 2 more girls joined them in the house and they were partying still. In his words, I have done my best for Regina. I spend a lot of money on her, but she's now spending all that money on drugs, which her friends introduced her to. I'm very sad tonight, people. Share my video. I'm just very sad. I told Ned I will contact him back. He said he will release a statement tomorrow.
Now, after listening to everything wey Dr. Kemi Oluloyo talk and wetin she confirm from Ned Nwoko, wetin be una take for inside this matter now? What are your advice to Regina and Ned Nwoko? What are your conclusion? What do you think? Make una drop am for the comment section. Make we interact, guys. I still remain your humble girl Gifted Gist. That mean dey bring una latest of all legit info. If you never subscribe to this channel, I use God to beg una make una help us subscribe. Hit on notification bell so that they go notify you anytime we drop latest ogbonge tori like this. See you guys in my next upload. Bye for now.